Well, welcome back to Talking with Tad. It's been a lot. It's been going on for the last couple weeks, and we were sad to lose our good friend Herman Cain, which I was glad that we had the opportunity to honor him in talking Tad Talks. But now today we're going to find out more information about what's going to go on, how you can get involved, how we need to be involved because we need everybody up front and working this election. So what to this week's Talking with Tad is going to be about TRCCA, and that's the Texas Republican County Chairs Association. Now there's all sorts of acronyms, and you've got that there right on one of the slides that you can look at. But we've got two gentlemen with us today that you're going to be very excited about hearing from. They are, I would have to say that the TRCCA has stepped up their communication level over the last couple of years, even more so now. Back when I was a county chair, I didn't have this advantage. I was part of TRCCA, but this is a wow factor. So I want to introduce to you two gentlemen that are going to share the activities that are going on and how you can get involved. So we have president, well, both of them are chairmen, right? Okay, they're both county chairs. That, you know, so I could say chair and chair and chair. But then Chair Dave Covey is also the president of TRCCA. And then we have Dwayne Wright, who is the executive director of the TRCCA. Dave is from Orange County, and then Dwayne is from San Jacinto. I think you guys butt up against each other. So if I'm pretty close to each other anyway. And they, but today with things like Zoom and the communication technology we have with this, like being right next door. So let me turn it over to our chairman, our president, and let him start to share some of the activities that are going on. Then we can follow it up and going to Chairman Dwayne also. Chairman, President, whatever your title is today, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about what TRCCA is doing?
Thank you, Tony, and appreciate all of your work and giving us this platform. We're very excited to be with you. We're very excited to be moving toward the election, and we think that every person matters right now. And so our organization works with the 254 county chairs all across Texas, and we're all about making sure that you are all plugged into your county chair. And so we are in the process of connecting county chairs with those delegates that signified on their enrollment that they would like to work an election. And it's an incredible thing when Texans can come together and work as an election judge or as an election clerk and see firsthand how democracy works. And really, you're the front lines of what the voter sees. It's a very important job. And so we're in the process of recruiting those people and matching them up with their county chairs. Dwayne?
Yeah, we're so excited to be here, Tony Ann, and once again, I'd like to echo what David said earlier. The programs, we've got a volunteer engagement program, and it's, you know, the 30,000 foot view of it is recruiting volunteers. But more specifically, as Chairman Covey had indicated, we're doing specific election judge, alternate judge, poll watcher, and clerk positioning in mainly the 6 big counties. And the deadline for that is tomorrow to submit those names. So we've been fast and furious on the ground trying to get the people that want to volunteer, and there's a lot of them, connected with their county chairs. And, you know, they can always go to trcca.com, and there's a lot of resources that they can follow to connect directly with their county chairs. We work with county chairs daily. We've got a lot of new county chairs that are just, you know, it's like drinking from a fire hydrant right now for them because it's the election is coming up. And we know, we've all been there. I've been in chair for, this will be my 4th term.
Wow.
And so we know when you first start, especially with these guys. If you think about the dynamics of the runoff being pushed forward so far, there's such a narrow window that they have to fit in all of these statutory duties prior to the election. And so it makes it even more critical that they lean on people with experience like Chairman Covey and myself and others on the board to be able to get some good information and be able to plug in with their local volunteers in their
And
county.
I would just add to that, to what Chairman Wright's saying, is that sometimes people think that maybe they can't do enough. It's not worth volunteering, or it's not worth making that call to their county party. And I can just tell you that so many elections across the state are won by just a few votes, and that one volunteer can make all the difference. And not only do we have the White House on the line, we have so many judge races. We have House district races that will control redistricting. And so even if you can only volunteer for an hour, then we're just encouraging you, reach out to us and we'll get you plugged into your county chair who knows what's going on in your area, and they'll help you get connected where you can make the most difference.
Well, that is quite interesting. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, I am asking all of you that are listening to be a volunteer. That's what you two said. But sometimes people need to be asked. And so this is the official ask. You are being asked to volunteer. You have multiple ways of connecting. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because some people are a little intimidated. They think, oh, well, maybe they don't need me, just like you said. And we do. We need every single one of you. And I mean, I was part of a race here when I was county chair, and it became a tie. And we were going to have to roll the dice until after we did the recount, and they won by one vote. So but being a part of that and helping and to assure that the ballot, everything is fair and everything is being done correctly. So that's your volunteer type of your volunteer program. And is that connecting also with your voter integrity education? Is that working the same way, gentlemen?
Absolutely. The voter integrity initiative that we're working with is primarily directed at having people who know what they're doing working the polls and working the elections. What a lot of people don't know is when you have a county that's a polling place that voted more for the Democrat versus the Republican or vice versa, then the county chair and the executive committee is responsible for placing judges there. And it's a vital part of what we do, because the process of our elections, it can be a little bit blurry in some areas to be PC about it. And so we have to make sure that we have people there who are committed to doing things the proper way, the legal way. And, that's a very vital thing. I mean, I live in a small county. A lot of the small counties have the misconception that they're not going to make a difference in a presidential race.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you the small counties make a difference and help bolster some of the big counties. I mean, we work in the big counties because of the massive numbers, but without the rural counties such as Dave's in and I'm in, helping these guys out, we know how to be read. We got to help them figure out how to be read. And so that's one of the big parts of the initiative, is to do what we can do in that aspect of it.
And just one quick story, just to support what Chairman Wright said, is a lot of, especially in the smaller counties, which make up a lot of the state, these election judges and clerks have been working the same precinct box for many, many years. And so in one of my boxes here in Orange County, I have a judge who was the first judge to have a young high school girl that graduated. She came in to vote for her very first time. Well, that young lady has now grown up. She's married, had children, but she continues to come back. And the
Good.
judges, they form these relationships which add authenticity, and it helps authenticate the voters because they have this personal one-on-one relationship. And so that is another part of having good Texans who have integrity working the polls, because they're going to be the front line and they're going to be the first to detect if anything is wrong.
Mhm.
That is so true. I mean, and another thing, because we were talking about that election day as the clerk, as the judge, but also what about those poll workers? I mean, the poll watchers. I mean, that's a crucial part too. I think you talked about that as to where we've got to train them up too. Now they're not under such a deadline as it is for August 7th,
Right.
but they still are such an important part of the whole process, right?
Oh, absolutely. And what some people don't even realize is, especially in the adversarial counties, the alternate judge is the Republican. And so what'll happen in many instances is the judge, who would be a Democrat in those instances, will send the alternate judge on errands and go check the signs and make sure they're at 100 feet. And that's when the poll watchers, being there and being able to kind of cover the bases while the alternate judge is away is really vital in those areas in particular.
That's an excellent point. Oh yeah. And I just don't think people realize how important that is and how we need every single one of them to engage. So it's really has got to be a team effort, and to be able to pull in the people and to let them know they got to have their family, their friends all engage is what they need to do. Well, it's hard to believe we have been talking almost for 10 minutes already, and I have two of you, and both of you need to share a fun fact about yourself. So, Chairman Wright, why don't you go first, and then we'll finish up there with Chairman Covey, please.
Okay. Well, it's interesting, people see in the political realm and don't know a lot of your history. So I'm a musician. I play saxophone. Some people know that. I'm, U.S. Chess Federation ranked member. But one that a lot of people really don't know is that I was a national champion in Taekwondo, and I taught for many years and was tapped for executive protection of the president of South Korea when he came to Bush International in Houston back in the late 90s. So that's something obscure that a lot of people don't know about.
Well, that's very impressive. I'm not going to get in any kind of fight with you, let me tell you. I don't think so. Good for you. Thank you for doing that. Okay, Chairman President, what is your exciting news?
Well, my news is pretty exciting for me. I am engaged and have a wedding planned for November. So very excited about that. I'll be marrying my best friend Esther and starting our life together here in Orange County. So we're very excited. So,
Well, and is she a Republican?
she is very much a Republican. She's probably
Oh,
more red than I am. So,
that is very good news. I am very glad to hear that. I don't think I would have asked that question if I knew it was different.
that's right.
So, gentlemen, please, as we wrap this up, that and thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being a part of it. But let's give the information again. How can they contact you? How can people come to you, and how can they encourage others to contact you?
Well, our website is trcca.com. Also, we have a number. We're based out of Austin. It's 512-270-0334. But the website has a lot of resources, a lot of connections, and we've got it divided up even into regions of Texas. So your particular county, you can kind of zone in on your region if you want to do it that way as well. And we've got a lot of listings for the regional directors and all there. So it's a huge wealth of resources. It's got content on how to do elections and a lot of, really good educational stuff.
Well, and Dave, did you, how about the social media?
We do have Facebook and Instagram, so they can look us up on there. And if anyone has a question, they can call Dwayne day or night, and he'll get back with them. So I always like to
Absolutely.
He's the executive director for TRCCA, does a fantastic job. And he's especially up practicing his Kwando stuff, I think, around midnight, if you want to get.
Actually, what's funny is I tell everybody, I charge my cell phone in the living room.
Yeah.
And it gets to start charging about 9 p.m. So.
I can totally relate. Well, as you can see, all my friends out there, talking with Tad today was very exciting. We had two incredible gentlemen, to having fun with them, sharing information. So again, I challenge you. I am asking you to volunteer. This is a time we need you. We have less than 90 days to get to the election, and it's all about us working as a team. Thank you, and I look forward to talking to you again with Talking with Tad.